Hey guys, Hydroxate here and welcome to another episode of Off the Runway where we look at the true endgame, that is Fashionframe. And now this week we're looking at one of my favourite Warframes of all time, Zephyr. And we're doing another inspiration video, so I'm taking inspiration from real birds, their colour schemes. This video is purely on colours, so don't worry about the attachments. This one we see here is the Sparrow Hawk, so I'm going to use them kind of browns, whites and blacks. And we have here one of the most well-known birds, that is the blue and gold macaw. So I'm using here the Hagoromo helmet and then with the normal default skin. You can see I'm using the blues, the yellows, and on the head there's a bit of green, so I've got that kind of accent all around the body, and then I'm using whites for the face just as another accent colour. And here we have now one of the smartest birds. This is the African grey parrot, which you can find in the Congo. I'm using the monsoon helmet because this kind of circular and the bulbous shape is very similar to the parrot's head. And we're using kind of whites, greys and an off black just to keep everything together, and that's because sky on skin is good for gradients and lines. And here, simply enough, is a raven, so I'm using blacks. I know I usually say don't use full black because it gets very saturated, but with this kind of bird, since the black is kind of shiny, full black is pretty good, and that's why I'm using the smoke colour, the darkest black you can get pretty much in the game to give that kind of shiny, glossy look. And kind of thing, if you don't know, ravens are actually very smart birds, and if you see videos on them on YouTube that they speak, you should watch it. It is the most terrifying thing to see this bird mimicking people's voices. We have one of the cutest little birds you can get. This is the Hummingbird, and this is kind of what the Tengu helmet I think pretty much is made for. It is a hummingbird style shape, and this bird I'm using here, I like the colours in it because it got kind of, you know, very vibrant pink for the head, and they got some nice little greens and whites and then blues in throughout, and that's what I've used for the kind of colour scheme. And here now is the rainbow Lorakeet, and I'm going to tell you a story about a rainbow Lorakeet. I looked after my aunt's one because I want to see what it looks, you know, like to look after a bird, and its name was Buddy. Very smart, could speak, very nice bird, like to be rubbed and all that. Buddy would like to dance on your hand, and I thought, I was like, oh, he's dancing, that's, you know, it's pretty cute. Buddy then would try to molest your hand, and that's the only memory I have of Buddy, and he's dead now, but the only thing I would have was that his dances were courtship dances, and then he would try to rape your hand. So that's what I'm going for here. The rainbow Lorakeet, as you can see, is like blues, reds and yellows and greens. That's what the looks and the colours are. This kind of looks like something that was made out of Mega Blocks, which is kind of like Lego, those colours. I wanted inspiration from the bird. Here now we have one of the most regal birds there are. This is the Peacock. So I'm going here, this is where the attachment is important. So I'm kind of going for the tail colours on the Urosindana, because that's how they kind of fold down, and then keeping the kind of blues on the actual main body, and that's what the Cierzo helmet is used for here. This is the kind of design I hope Zephyr Prime will eventually have. I really hope it'll be peacock shaped with kind of orc gold tail that'll be able to come up when you fly or something like that. That's just my 2 cents. I'm really looking forward to when the next roll of female Warframes come out that are primed. Here we have the, you know, the bird synonymous, the Christmas cards. This is the robin, so, you know, the red breast, the brown here, and the white kind of trimmings. But when I kind of looked at this, I was kind of also thinking that this also looked like a robin that was mauled by a cat from the way the red is designed on the just default. It looks like something was shredded apart. So if either floats your boat, then this look is for you. And our next look is inspired by the plum coloured Starling. Very, very pretty bird, and that's why I've kind of wanted to get the colours here. Mostly the classic palette, but the Lotus just for that kind of, you know, nice purple underneath that base. Skyron skin and helmet because that gradients look really well, and this is the final product. Next we have the Guinness Bird, that is the toucan. So simple colour scheme here, black, white and orange. Since the beak is kind of a long shape, that's why I went for the Tengu helmet, kind of the orange beak and the accent all around. As you can see, there's actually a piece of red coloration underneath the tail. that was very hard to get in this color scheme, but since a lot of them actually have blue eyes, that's what the energy color here is, because when you see in the helmet, the little blue dots, they look like eyes. And our final look here is inspired by the swan, white, black and orange. Once again, same color scheme, just switched around. These birds are graceful, very beautiful, but they will break you with such a vengeful kind of hiss. They are full of just violence, so that's why you don't go near them. Not that I know first hand, but I've heard some very, very gruesome stories about these angry feckers. So that's all the kind of inspired looks this time. As always, thank you for watching. You can subscribe if you like my content. We have every week. Also, tweet me on Twitter at Hydroxate. Show me your favorite looks. Show me any ones that you have yourself. And as always, I'll see you next time and take care.